At this point, I'd be tempted to offer you sort of half the money, the percentage you're talking about, so 15%, something like that. So.
And you give me 20% of it. That's 20 quid. Yeah? Keep it simple. And the other one could be worth...
We are women.
You don't know who we are. You've pitched up, asked for £150,000.
The inspiration was for the pub and bar market.
So can you just talk me through what evidence you currently have?
In a day. It varies. I mean, E&O...
Well, average. How many of these is one pub summary? Is it 10 or is it 100?
One a day.
Because we do offer women tradespeople as well as men.
Okay.
We give customers the choice.
Number 4, Clash of the Dragons. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the fiery and explosive den of the Dragon's Den. Tonight, we have a product that's sure to set tongues wagging and dragons breathing fire. It's called Rotomate, and it's the brainchild of young entrepreneur Roger Hind. The Rotomate is a washing line cover that offers complete protection from unpredictable weather. It's fully waterproofed with UV-coated premium rip-stop panels that protect your laundry from the elements, come rain or shine.
I'm Roger Hind. I'm here today with my product Rotomate. I'm looking for £85,000, 15% share in the business.
But will it be enough to impress the Dragons and secure an investment of £85,000 in exchange for a 15% stake in the company? The first dragon to pounce on the opportunity is none other than the Aussie investor Richard Farley. He's willing to put half the amount on the table in exchange for roughly 15% of the stake.
And are you paying yourself a salary out of the business?
Currently, no. I've tried to incur as little cost as possible.
Does the business have a lot of debt? This place is through here.
No, it doesn't.
And if it's windy and wet at the same time, does the water come through?
Windy and wet at the same time? No, it doesn't.
At this point, I'd be tempted to offer you sort of half the money, the percentage you're talking about, so 15%, something like that. So.
But will the other dragons be equally impressed? Peter Jones, Duncan Bannatyne, and Theo Paphitis are not convinced. They refuse to invest in the product, citing various concerns and reservations. But things start to get heated when Deborah Meaden decides to counter Richard's offer. She's willing to invest, but for a higher stake of 20%.
Can you tell me what your business plan says in terms of financial numbers? What are you expecting over this year, next year, year after?
The following year, 2008, I anticipate 50,000 unit sales. For this year, I'm expecting to hit 8,000 sales.
So you're going to make about £32,000 profit.
Richard, however, is not one to back down. He jumps on the bandwagon and suggests that both he and Deborah invest together in exchange for a whopping 40% of the stake.
So you mentioned there's about 400,000 clotheslines in the UK sold each year.
That's from one of the 4 UK manufacturers.
The room falls silent as the young Roger Hind processes the offer. But before he can even respond, an argument breaks out between Peter and Richard.
As excited as some of our other dragons, particularly Richard, I don't think the sales will get anything like the volume that you think, so I'm out.
The two dragons start to bicker and clash, with accusations flying and tempers flaring. But amidst the chaos, a voice speaks up. It's Roger Hind, the young entrepreneur who started it all, and he's got something to say. He agrees to the combined offer of Richard and Deborah, effectively giving them the investment they wanted.
The credibility of your projections is, as far as I'm concerned, shot. I'm slightly disappointed that you don't understand the size of the market, but I'm actually going to make you an offer because I like the product, but I want 20%.
And I do believe that both Richard and Deborah can offer with this.
Roger Hind's Rotomate may have turned the dragons into literal ones, but it also managed to bring out their fiery and passionate sides. And in the end, it was a win-win situation for everyone involved. Number 3, alienating women. Jude Camplin and Chrissy Shaw, the founders of Evolution Solutions, a women's construction business that's looking to shake things up in the industry. But will their pitch be enough to impress the fiery dragons, or will it go up in flames?
We've come here today for investment in our 2 companies, Evolution Solutions and Evolve Through Training. Evolution Solutions is a construction company which champions women in the construction industry.
Jude and Chrissy are passionate about their business, and they're not afraid to let it show. They take to the stage with enthusiasm, ready to show the dragons what they've got.
You know, that's probably because of the much televised pot pellet builder rummaging through your knicker drawer.
We also have an academy. Right, the academy is set out over 3 sites in Derby.
Because we do offer women tradespeople as well as men.
Okay.
We give customers the choice.
There's no, at the moment, no turnover in either of the businesses?
No, Evolution Solutions has been trading since...
OK, and what's the turnover on Evolve Through Training?
We're probably looking at about 500,000 in the first year.
But things quickly take a turn for the worse when Jude starts to make some controversial comments. The one that she makes to Theo surely hits a nerve, and Theo immediately changes tone.
Not a lot. This year, we've made a loss.
Hey, how does that work? How does that work?
Well, what do you mean, how does it work?
They're actually...
Well, all right, 20% is combined over both companies.
No, it doesn't work like that. One could be worth £100.
We do, I apologise, but we face
You've
this
got a
every
terrible
day.
attitude.
I tell you, and you give me 20% of it. That's 20 quid. Yeah?
Yeah.
Keep it simple. And the other
Thank
one
you.
could be worth...
We are women.
You
I
don't know who we are. You've pitched up, asked for £150,000. On that point, I've got a serious issue with that comment.
Well,
Do you know how many women I work with? You don't know who we are. You made a flippant comment about...
It's not flippant, it's very serious.
No, you made
to
a very
us.
flippant comment.
He was just trying to explain to them that 20% of what they are in two companies is not how it works. She speaks about her crusade to get more women into the construction industry and how their business is going to make a real difference. But the Dragons are not impressed. They start to question Jude's motives and wonder if her crusade is just a ploy to get investment. Things escalate quickly, and before long, Jude is in the midst of an intense exchange of blows with the Dragons. They accuse her of being patronizing and insulting, and her comments have clearly struck a nerve. Jude tries to defend herself, but her words only seem to make things worse. She tells the Dragons that they're not doing enough to promote diversity in the industry, and that their attitudes are part of the problem. The room falls silent as the Dragons take in Jude's comments. They look offended and hurt, and it's clear that her words have hit a nerve. Deborah Meaden speaks up first, telling Jude that she's being disrespectful and offensive.
Jude, do you know you're beginning to sound like a crusade?
It's a
rather than
campaign.
business?
It's a campaign because it's a niche market.
Can you explain to me why you think there aren't more women in the construction industry at the moment?
If you've got...
Peter Jones jumps in next, telling Jude that her attitude is exactly what's wrong with the industry.
Well, you've already got 5 dragons pretty hacked.
Well, you know, I'm sorry about that.
If you can do that in 5
really
minutes, what are you going to do when you go into the open market to focusing on the key benefit?
He tells her that the Dragons have done a lot to promote diversity and that her comments are unwarranted. The other Dragons chime in, each expressing their disappointment and frustration with Jude's comments. They tell her that if she wants to make a difference, she needs to do it in a positive and constructive way, not by insulting the very people she's trying to help. Jude looks taken aback by the Dragons' reactions. It's clear that she didn't intend to offend anyone, but her passion got the better of her. The pitch ends on a sour note, with the Dragons clearly offended and upset. Number 2, Eco-Friendly PC. Peter Hopton, the founder of Very PC, entered the Dragon's Den with a bold pitch. He was seeking £250,000 for a 5% stake in his company, which was dedicated to creating eco-friendly computers.
My name's Peter Hopton and I am from Very PC. I'm only using 29.6 watts of electricity on average. And this is a green server using half the power consumption. Very PC have come here today to ask you for £250,000 for 5% of the firm.
However, he quickly found himself on the defensive as the Dragons went on the attack.
Not a lot more, definitely.
Okay, so between 10 and 15% higher
yes.
than the kind of high street comparison.
Not a lot of finance at all. They're VC and private equity firms within the city.
And they were willing to invest at that level?
Talked obviously with a number of people previously about investment.
Are they in this country or are they living on another planet?
They're in this country indeed, yes.
Peter Jones, one of the more aggressive Dragons on the panel, challenged Hopton's power consumption calculations, calling his business pretty averagely crap.
Right, and why's that?
Because if I was to install now, and actually you're calling yourself green, and I'm actually almost insulted by it. You're about as green as a carrier bag.
The problem with that...
Is that not correct? So one server,
54
terminals.
54 terminals. The service power consumption is going to be around 300 watt.
He argued that Hopton's eco-friendly computers would use up more energy than a conventional setup, negating any environmental benefits. James Kahn was equally unimpressed. He accused Hopton of having an overinflated sense of the company's financial power, pointing out that Very PC couldn't compete with industry giants like IBM. Duncan Bannatyne, never one to mince his words, claimed that he had never heard such rubbish in his life. He expressed skepticism about the company's ability to make a profit and doubted whether it was a viable investment. Throughout the pitch, Hopton remained defensive, struggling to convince the Dragons of his company's value proposition.
Nothing at all. It's all off the shelf.
So you've got nothing that's proprietary. What's in your PC that's proprietary that makes your business worth £5 million?
Despite his best efforts, he failed to secure an investment, and the pitch ended on a sour note. Number 1, pitch turns into xenophobia. Lex Hall, the founder of a snack bar business, entered the Dragon's Den seeking a £150,000 investment in return for a 15% equity stake in her company.
£150,000 worth of investment for a 15% stake in our company. My name's Alex Hall. I'm the founder of The Big O. We're looking for...
However, her pitch quickly took a turn for the worse as the Dragons reacted with skepticism and disdain. Theo questioned the scalability of her business model, while Doug Richard expressed concern about the company's lack of intellectual property protection.
It is to me. If you're not going to answer my question, then I'm out. Alex, please answer the question.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to answer that question because it's not relevant.
However, it was Duncan Bannatyne who pushed Alex to the brink with a probing question about her relationship with a Spanish supplier.
Is anyone Spanish here? Dishonesty might be number one, key number.
Alex's response shocked and appalled the Dragons. She launched into a xenophobic tirade, accusing the supplier of being dodgy and unreliable because they were Spanish.
Well, they'd say things or put something in the product that...
You know this product doesn't sell, and that's your problem.
She claimed that the supplier was causing her business significant financial losses and that she was actively seeking a replacement from the UK. The Dragons were incensed by her comments, with Richard calling her out for her discriminatory language and behavior and immediately pulling out because of her sweeping statements. Peter accused her of being narrow-minded and was absolutely baffled and said that it was the worst pitch of the day. Rachel also resonated with other Dragons, saying that even though she likes olives, but she thinks that Alex wouldn't be able to do justice with them, so she also refuses to invest. In the end, Alex's pitch ended in disaster. Her xenophobic comments had alienated the Dragons, and she was unable to secure an investment. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you another time.